Hey, Crystal Maiden here, and here's a game that I never thought I would bother to play. Sonic Blast for the Game Gear. And you're gonna see that this game is a pretty obvious cash-in, trying to make sales off Sonic 3D Blast. Like, I don't feel like very much effort was put into this game at all. You might be wondering about the intro. The reason that you saw an emerald split apart is because you're going after only 5 emeralds in this game. But that's not because the game's trying to say that there's only 5 Chaos Emeralds. In fact, the story of this game is that there was this one Chaos Emerald and it got split into 5. And you have to collect the 5 pieces. And I'm gonna get back to that because look, I tried to go up a loop and I failed. The problem I have with this game is that the physics are all off and the controls are really terrible. Because, look, you actually saw Sonic spinny feet, but you barely ever see that in this game because the game is so slow most of the time. Because the game has a lot of slowdown from the fact that they're trying to have advanced polygonal graphics in a Game Gear game. Because they're trying to do the same style that Sonic 3D Blast did. But even Donkey Kong Country looks better than this. And granted, that was a Super Nintendo game, so there's really no comparison, but still. Everything about this game is so lackluster, they weren't really trying. Like, even the menu screens. Like, the screens that show up when you're going from one level to the next. Even they look like they don't really have much effort put into them. Like, there's bright, unsightly colors. I know it's a really minor nitpick, but still. So, there's a lot of slowdown in this game, and granted, I'll admit that some of it is the Fusion emulator. Because I could really notice because the theme of the next level sounded slower. But even though I'm adding slowdown by playing it on emulator, it still feels pretty slow regardless. This game could not really handle having such advanced graphics on it. And so all of the levels are short and simple, and because they can't really afford that much memory space, there's only 5 levels in the entire game. The biggest problem I have with the controls is that you got too much momentum. It's really hard to make Sonic stop having momentum in this game. It's really hard to get him to stop. I'm kind of fine with the level design. It's pretty easy. Like, this game is really easy. So, it's not that it's frustrating. Until the 3rd level, anyway. Well, the 4th level, more like. Oh yeah, here's a new ability that Sonic has in this game. The double jump. And I really love it. That's one of the things I love about this game. Of course, it also contributes to making the game easy. But I don't really consider that to be a problem as long as the game's fun, or at least tolerable. And for the most part, this game is tolerable. The boss fights are pretty easy. You just gotta jump on the front of Eggman's glass dome. You can't jump on the bottom, or you'll get hurt. It's just like in Sonic 3D Blast. And the reason Sonic has to double jump is because there are 2 characters you can play as in this game. Sonic and Knuckles. Obviously Knuckles can glide and climb walls. I'll be showing off how terrible Knuckles is in the extra part, but, well, let's just say you want to be playing as Sonic. And even without that, Sonic's double jump makes you move a lot faster than just slowly climbing up walls. So I'd rather be playing as Sonic. Plus, when you're falling, like when you fall and fail at a platforming section, the double jump is a good way to make up for that. I love the theme of Yellow Desert. And it even sounds good slowed down. Because, again, my emulator sort of has some slowdown with this. And it was kind of weird. Like, I kind of panicked at first because I thought that I couldn't play it. Because it said that it gave me an error when I tried to load it up. And then I chose open up Master System ROM, and it worked, even though this is very clearly a Game Gear game. And it's especially weird because due to how large this game's RAM is, because of all the graphics, it won't work on early models of the Master System. So it's kind of weird that I can only get this game to work when my emulator is in the Master System mode. Ironically enough, there actually was a Master System version of this game, but it was only released in Brazil. It was made by a company called Tectoy, and that was the last game released for the Master System. And it really sucks how we got cheated out of a Master System version of this game, for no reason. And it's not like this game requires much translation, so what the hell? But yeah, Yellow Desert isn't all that imaginative. I mean, aside from those statues in the background, which I like. This level design, the level design of the game mostly takes... The game's level design likes to rip off ideas from the previous two Sonic games, like this is basically Sandopolis again, only a lot better because it doesn't have the timing puzzles and the ghosts, and you don't push blocks like it's Marble Zone. But just like in Sandopolis, you start outside, and in Act 2, you're inside a cavern. And also there's sand falls, although you don't really, they don't really factor into the level design. This is new though. I don't really feel like I have much control over where I'm shot when I go into these things. It's pure trial and error, trying to figure out how exactly you get to the special stage ring. Because you have to go into a very specific hole, and it's unintuitive which hole you go into. I had to reload my state because it sent me past the special stage ring. But that's how you... Special stages rings are how you get into the special stages. It's just like in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Only it sucks because it's restricted to only one emerald per zone. And you can only get to special stages in Act 2. If you find a special stage ring in Act 1, it's going to send you to a different colored version of the special stage that just gives you an extra life or something. So there's no point in doing it. And if you fail at a special stage, then you're screwed out of the good ending. There's only one special stage ring per Act 2. So it's like Sonic 3 Knuckles, only inferior in every way. Wonderful. I mean, fuck, why do they bother? But yeah, this is basically the special stage. Sometimes the springs and dash pads can trick you, and you don't want to go into them, but other times they help you collect rings. Sometimes it can be hard, like that one. Don't hit that one. Sometimes it can be hard to know how exactly you should position yourself to get the rings and when you should jump. But for the most part, I like these special stages because they're easy. Look at how lazy that looked. It looks so lazy. Although I like the way that looks though. But yeah, I don't think this game is all that graphically impressive. I mean, I used to see Sonic as Metal Sonic out of the corner of my eye when I was looking at him in this game. I don't anymore, but that just goes to show you how bad the graphics look. I mean, they're not horrible, they don't negatively impact gameplay. And so, they're not bad in a gameplay sense, so it doesn't really matter. I don't know why there's a blue button there. I mean, it's not like you can access a bonus stage from Act 3's, can you? Because I saw one in the first level too. Also, this level is called Yellow Desert. That is such a creative name. But here's the second boss. And it's pretty easy as well. Just jump into him. Make sure you don't get hit by the laser. And again, I was talking earlier about the story of this game. Because you might think it's a Sonic game, there is no story. But actually it's kind of unique for a 2D Sonic game. The game's Japanese storyline implies that Knuckles had quickly tossed the Chaos Emerald between the sleeping Sonic and Eggman's laser to save Sonic from being vaporized by a laser. Maybe this is why you can't find that 6th emerald in this game. Because you're getting 5 emeralds, but they're not Chaos Emeralds. Eggman shattered 1 Chaos Emerald into 5 different pieces with his laser. So these aren't emeralds, they're just pieces of emeralds. And although the plot does raise the question of why Knuckles was there to save Sonic, I mean, shouldn't he have been on Angel Island guarding Master Emerald? I mean, it's good that he saved him, like, they're actually friends. So yeah, the story is pretty unique. I mean, I like how Eggman actually tried to kill Sonic when he was sleeping. Like, that's the most genre-savvy thing he's ever done. And he never tried it again. Oh, and that thing I just passed? That's the unique gimmick of this level. Basically, you constantly jump on it, and that's how you get to constantly move forwards. But look, the level's over already. And that was just Act 1, although Act 1s tend to be shorter than Act 2s. But I always try to skip the yellow spring things, because I feel like it pads out the game, because you constantly have to jump on them multiple times to get them to go forwards. And I'm too impatient for that, so I always try to skip them whenever I can. The lava is an instant kill like it is in Mario games, so you can literally just land on the lava, and then just recollect your rings while your invincibility frames, and just skip them. But yeah, the physics of this game are kind of wonky. Like, if you try to spin dash through an enemy, you'll uncurl afterwards. That never happens. Usually when you spin dash through an enemy, you stay in ball form and you keep on rolling. I think I just backtracked to the beginning of the level. No, I didn't. That doesn't really say much about the level design. Also, Red Volcano rips off the spin dash platforms from Lava Reef Zone. Oh, I guess they're really trying to rip off Volcano Valley, because these appeared in that level too. I kind of like the music for this level, but it's desperately in need of a modern remix, because I don't think the Game Gear sound chip makes it sound very good at all. The way it is in this game, it's pretty forgettable. Doesn't really... It tries to go for something, but it fails. I mean, I love Yellow Desert's theme. In fact, I actually kind of like it more than Sandopoulos Zone's theme, from the sheer fact that when I hear Sandopoulos Zone's theme, it reminds me of how boring and exhausting Sandopoulos Zone was. And so I can't really hear that desert theme without getting stressed out. Like, I play the desert theme when I'm playing through an actual desert level in like Sonic Rush, and I get stressed out and fatigued because it reminds me of how I was playing Sonic Sandopoulos. I just wanted the level to end already. But I don't have a problem playing through Yellow Desert, so I don't associate its song with bad memories, so I like its song more. But now we're coming up to the boss fight of Red Volcano. I hate how long it takes to get to the boss fight, especially because if you die to it, which is pretty easy to do, then you'll have to go through all of this all over again. Also, I know this is a nitpick, but I really hate how you can't see how much time has passed on the corner of the screen. You can do that in every 2D Sonic game, but for some reason here, you don't see a time limit. I don't think there's a time limit at all. Which is good, but still, it feels dishonest whenever a platformer doesn't tell you how much time has passed in the level you're in. Like, it does that in the Werehog levels too, in the HD version at least. But yeah, this is the boss of Red Volcano. And I hate this boss. Like, I've died to it a few times. Once or twice. He'll always appear, like he goes to the left side, and then he always goes to the right side. And then he always goes to the left side. And if you double jump right afterwards, if you double jump while you're landing, or you jump right after you land, you'll dodge his ball there. You gotta make a very precise jump so that you land on his glass dome, but if you jump too low, then that will happen. And if you lose your rings here, it's practically impossible to get them back because you're stuck to a small moving platform. And you're stunned, but your rings fall down past the bottom of the screen. Yeah, I think that boss is pretty hard. Definitely the hardest pogo stick boss fight that Eggman's ever had. So I'll see you in the next part for the worst water level in all of Sonic history. No, I'm not kidding.